In our modern culture, the word love is often watered down, not defined clearly, and misunderstood often. Behind one of the most basic human experiences lies one of the greatest of mysteries. A simple, but sometimes complex, four-letter word. Love. What if you could actually plan to fall in love? Know exactly how to nurture and feed love? How to truly love yourself and others? Come with us. Take this revealing journey of discovery and finally unlock the secrets of love.
Judging by the amount of art and written material devoted to that elusive four-letter word, love, it's clear that love has been a primary concern for we human beings since the beginning of civilization. But are we any closer to really creating toe-curling, soul-satisfying, mind-altering, and yes, transformative love? I believe the answer is yes, because we human beings, especially we Americans, are no longer willing to settle for missing out on that sought-after, poorly understood, and yes, transformative experience of lasting love. In this groundbreaking series, you're going to be taken on a journey through the body, the emotions, the mind, the very soul of love. We'll listen to celebrities like Kathryn Oxenberg, Casper Van Dien, Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, John Gray, and so many others. Get ready to open your heart, and let's take that journey together right now.
When two souls find one another,
I flashed on all these other lifetimes where we had been in love and we had been together, so it was like my soul was remembering a soul.
life takes on a new dimension.
I slid across the floor and I said, "The camera's running, we're almost out of tape, will you marry me?" And she said, "Oh my God, yes!" And then we got shushed by a nun.
But unlike divine love, the human experience can be complex and painful.
And when he sat me down to tell me that he had cheated on me over a 2-year period multiple times, I was 8 months pregnant. I don't think I've ever experienced that much pain as an adult.
In this program, we untangle the threads of jealousy, conflict, infidelity, misunderstanding, and weave them back together into the soft and silky fabric of the harmony we all seek in relationships.
If you want someone to change how they feel, this is what I teach men. Don't try to fix her when she's upset. Don't talk her out of her feelings when she's upset. That's like putting gasoline on a fire. It just gets worse. Instead, stand there like a man and listen.
The less selfish you are, the more loving you become. Selfish people, narcissistic people, they don't make good spouses, and they have very, very bad marriages.
The need for intimacy is one of the fundamental human drives.
Intimacy to me is a later stage in a relationship. The first stage in relationship is what we call attraction. You're attracted to somebody in whom you find traits that you want and you want more of, so you like to hang around with them.
Real intimacy, real love with another human being, a real authentic connection with another human being isn't found, cannot be cultivated, is not created or maintained on the outer realms. Intimacy is not of the body.
People want real love, authenticity.
It's the love that we have to have in order to be happy. It's not like the dessert of life. It is life.
In this series, you'll be empowered to know the differences between false and true love.
First phase is that whoosh, of romance and passion, but we call the second phase the inevitable, because inevitably that's going to bring up some old shadow parts of you that need to be brought up into the light in order to be loved and purified and talked about and that kind of thing. But usually what happens is when that comes up, we blame the other person.
A conscious relationship puts you completely to the test as a human being. It involves becoming clear about what we're doing with another person and what that requires of us. But it can only occur when two people willingly enter into a process where they regard their relationship itself as a vehicle for their mutual awakening.
We've all heard a lot about the role of forgiveness, the importance of forgiveness in relationships. You know, you just have to forgive and get over it and get on with life. And yet we all know that that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. It's easy to say, but it's a very difficult thing to do because forgiveness is always required when we've been deeply wounded. It's not a cheap offering. Forgiveness is amazing. It actually changes the chemistry of a relationship, changes it from bitterness to sweetness, from stale to something that's suddenly alive again.
For anyone who's experienced the highs and lows of a relationship and wondered where are the answers to fulfilling, lasting, and soulful partnerships.
So energy, the soul, is something that's transcending lifetimes. And when we find someone that we're soul mated with, we're actually meeting somebody that we've gone on this journey with before, somebody that we are compatible with. And as we reconnect with each other in a specific lifetime, like a present lifetime, we reconnect with where we might have left off, what it is that we had agreed to accomplish together. And we know those people when we meet them because we have a very strong, wow, I know you, I can feel like I'm really connected to you. And when that's positive, when that connection is a happy, positive connection, that's what I think we're talking about in a soulmate connection.
I'm a great believer in the concept of soulmate. First of all, I love the word itself. Not just a mate. In the animal world, there are mates. And not just a soul, someone with whom you only have an ethereal, disembodied connection. Soulmate. It's the union of the physical and the spiritual. It's someone with whom you have a passionate carnal life and someone with whom you have a deep, spiritual, intimate connection.
There was so much passion and electricity and so much attraction that there's that initial intoxication with love.
Now when people feel actually the intoxication of love, which is very different from just transient pleasure, you'll find that their body makes serotonin, opiates, oxytocin, dopamine all at the same time. These are the chemical mediators of what we call that intoxication that we experience, that spiritual ecstasy we feel.
What does draw us together? What was the bonding all about? How much do we really have in common? Do we have a common purpose? Are we here to help each other grow and learn? And if that's so, then marriage becomes kind of like a triangle where you have a third thing that you're committed to that's larger than both of you. Otherwise, it looks like this, which is what codependence looks like, right?
For anyone who has ever wished they could find guidance through the ebb and flow of romance.
If it's so much work, what's the point of being in a relationship?
The big, wonderful, you've done the work reward is that it's not boring, it gets deep and wide and rich in a way that I never knew. And I hear this from almost everyone on the path of real love.
In this series, you'll be empowered to know the differences between false and true love.
Love brings up everything unlike itself. We're here to be healed, so our wounds will show. The more chemistry, the more need for the sacred connection. You put those two together, though.
Third dimensional love is conditional, and I have to be perfect. And so if I don't look perfect, he's not going to love me anymore.
But if we really want to feel love, we don't need to talk about love. Because really there's no words that can really explain what love is. The only way to know is by the action.
The power of touch.
Sometimes people think of sacred sex as opposed to the appetite type oriented sex as something where love is present, where there's some kind of transcendent experience, where looking into each other's eyes or feeling your souls match and touch during orgasm makes you feel like you've almost had a religious experience as opposed to a body experience.
So we need to slow down, do practices like deep, slow breathing, eye gazing, much more touching. The skin's our largest organ, So, and it provides much information when it's being touched in specific ways. And when we can employ some of these practices and slow our lovemaking down, we back off on the cortisol and we start expressing oxytocin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and some of the neurochemicals that help us get into the love, excitement, novelty, and bonding arenas that sexuality can bring.
If you're moved by love, love is the thing that will cause you to grow in ways that you wouldn't dare. You wouldn't have the courage, because love starts that process of charging the heart, opening the heart. As the heart opens, our courage is awakened.
My experience of this relationship is that in the face of real love, everything that is less than that love has come up to be purified. And I've seen in so many other relationships that people have that initial infatuation, and then the honeymoon is over, and then everything that you dislike about the person reveals itself, and people really don't want to go any further than that. And I feel like it's a blessing in my life that I've gone through that gauntlet, because what is at the other end is so exquisite and extraordinary and worth every bit of the journey on every level. And the quality of love that I experience in my life today, which every day grows richer and more beautiful, to me is why I'm here on this planet.
Uncover the emotional, spiritual, and physical dimensions of love, and lift the veil of mystery behind this powerful phenomenon.
Experience wisdom teachings of ancient and contemporary masters woven into a seamless and enjoyable journey. Powerful shows that explore love through new perspectives.